This is the UpViral Co-Pilot Show for Tuesday, March 15th, 2022. Hard to believe that it is the middle of March already. As you get older, if you don't know this, as you get older, time moves faster. It just freaking does. And I don't quite understand that. I don't. Robert might agree with me, because I know Robert's a little bit younger than me. Anyway. We're going to have some rules today. I don't know why I came up with that to say that. I actually was looking at my shirt. So I have my old UpViral shirt on, and when I pulled it out of the closet, I don't know, it depends upon how I have the camera. You can see there's a lot of hair. We have 4 cats, 3 cats in this household. We lost one a couple of months ago. And every time you put on clothing, especially black, you see cat hair. So number one topic of today is don't judge me for my cat hair, please. Topic of the day that was maybe included in the email, maybe not included in the email is, what's this thing about incentives? Why are we having to talk about incentives, and what can you do to have better incentives in your campaign? Sound like a good topic? Anybody? Anybody out there? Bueller, as my friend Paul likes to say. Just a little surprised. I'm wondering if there's some sort of a problem. Jeff, Nico, and Rodney are here. Would you guys, one of you comment, let me know that that you can see my stuff. I'm just a little taken aback because there's usually 20 or 30 people popping in every time we do a co-pilot show. I'm just wondering if there's some sort of technical details. Here comes Janine. Nobody's willing to comment. Everybody's gone, Mitch, we don't care. Oh, there it is. Hi, Nico. Thank you. All right. So, anybody notice I got new glasses? I have my old glasses. My old computer glasses were completely blue. There you go. Little surprise for today. All right. So, who knows why incentives are an important thing? Who knows anything about UpViral? Raise your hand if you know. UpViral started out as a really different tool in the market. And that's because Wilco made those discoveries. If you've watched anything that Wilco has done in the past, the videos, he talked about his Tweetlead campaign, where he really sort of learned about how to get people to refer others. And when UpViral was first created, it was designed to do 2 different functions. One was to set up a referral program, and the other was to do contests. And inside the contests, you gave people points. Points being extra chances to win, right? Referral program side of it, which is what he really sort of did with Tweetleads, was incentivizing people, asking people to share to bring other people in. Any of you guys and gals here from the old time and remember those days where there were 2 separate? You know, one of the things I'm wondering now that I think about it, I bet this is going to be true. I figured it out now. We in the US just changed to daylight savings time. So we moved back an hour. And I bet you a whole bunch of people around the planet are thinking that we don't start for another hour or another 50 minutes from now. I bet that's what it is. I bet that's what it is. In fact, I'm going to ask Carlene. Ree Anderson says, I'll see you in an hour. No, I'm not going to start in an hour. I'm not going to restart the show in an hour. We're going to do it now. And we're going to see who shows up. But I know that's what's going on. There's a whole bunch of people think that the show, they have it in their calendar. In fact, I know I was talking to Carlene privately this morning, and she said, oh, that's Robert Anderson. All right. She said she had a question for today's show. So I know she was coming. I'm reminding her. You know, I wonder, did the emails even go out? I don't have my emails open. I wonder if the emails went out. Somebody must have gotten the emails because several of you are here, right? Because of the emails. I'm opening my email. Anyway, we're just going to keep going because that's what we do here. And we're just going to see how it goes. Yeah, Carlene says we haven't switched yet. So I know that's what the problem is. And I appreciate your patience while I try to look that up. Let's see, UpViral emails. Because I would be willing to bet. Copilot show. See, that was yesterday. See, I'd be willing to bet that their automated sequence is set for Europe time, right? Or Middle East or wherever they have their autoresponder, because I don't see the email that goes out that says starting in 15 minutes. Oh, Robert says Wilco's link went out, but I didn't get, I'm looking at my email and it said yesterday I got an email from Copilot Show, but I did not get one for today, at least yet. I know you guys don't care, but I do. But that's the problem. That's absolutely the problem. Carlene made it. Hi, Carlene. That's why nobody's here. Oh, well. All right. So talking about incentives, the UpViral that was released in 2015 and probably through 2017 was split in half. When you came in and created a campaign, you had to choose whether you were going to do a contest or whether you were going to do a referral. And I forgot what they called it. It might have been an incentive program. But guess who? I claim credit for this. I always claim credit for this. And hi, Jeff. Thank you. I recommended to Wilco, once I really started learning what was going on and I started building the campaigns that gave me this 250,000 leads and the plaque that I've got behind me, I said to Wilco, why do I have to choose? Why do I have to choose either this path or that path? Wouldn't it be amazing if UpViral would let you do both in the same campaign? And if you look at other tools, and I'm not encouraging you to look at other tools because you're sitting here using the best tool on the market because, hey, not because I'm here, but because I selected UpViral a long time ago after looking at a whole bunch of different tools, and I realized that UpViral was one of the best of them. It's gotten so much better now. It is the best. But the other tools, if you dive into some of the other tools, right? I got the recording on, right? If you dive into the other tools, what you will find in just about every one of them is you have to make that kind of a choice when you create your campaign. I'm not going to mention any names because it isn't about the other tools. But that's what frustrates me about them so much. When I go into those tools, the first thing I look at is whether or not they force you to pick this kind of a campaign or that kind of a campaign, XYZ kind of campaign, because I want to do it all. I want to be able to do whatever choices I make, right? I want the flexibility to be able to do everything. That's just the way I am. And UpViral now lets you do that. When you create a campaign inside of UpViral, you can do incentives. You can do a contest without incentives. You can do custom actions. You can do all of the bells and whistles in one campaign if that's what you want to do. Again, most of you that have heard me preach about this, I encourage you to not do all the bells and whistles in your first campaign. But that's exactly what I think you should be doing, is using a tool that has the most flexibility. Now, one of the things that the other tools have an advantage of is that when they build a template, your brain goes, oh, I get it. Sorry, the back of my head itches. I get it. I want to do this. And it's very simple to get started because they give you the recipe to make squash casserole. I just made that up. Squash casserole. And you don't have to think about whether or not you're going to have tuna, right? Or some of the other proteins or anything like that inside your casserole. They just give you the recipe to do a squash casserole. And that makes life easy, right? You don't have to think, I'm just going to create this. It's going to work, blah, blah, blah. But they don't tell you that you don't get to do the tuna side of it. They don't tell you that you can add cheese to it. They don't tell you any of those things. They force you into a specific pattern, a specific template. You have to make a choice and you don't get the flexibility. And that's why it was so important. And I was so thrilled when Wilco added or combined the functionality in UpViral, and you no longer had to choose which path you were going down. Because let's suppose you're running a contest. And I'm going to go through some examples or some statistics in a few minutes to show you why things aren't working maybe the way you think they might be working or want them to work. I just forgot what I was going to say. That ever happened to you? I know it happens to me all the time, unfortunately. But the ability to run a contest and say, hey, if you refer 3 people, I'm going to give you this bonus, just boosts absolutely everything. It gives you so much more flexibility to be able to do that. Now, a couple of weeks ago, and I don't remember who it was, one of the people in the Copilot show asked, what, points aren't enough? They can be, right? So if you run a contest and you are giving people extra chances to win whatever your magical offer is, then that gives you the ability to incentivize them by doing the social sharing and all the other things to earn additional chances to win, right? One of the things I advise people when they're building their campaigns is to not say points. Now, some points, some people understand points, some people don't. They don't understand why they're earning points. What good do the points do me? Which is why I suggest you at least once or twice say extra chances to win. You can equate points. You can say points and then maybe put in parentheses extra chances to win or additional chances or chances to win or whatever. Encourage them with points and your campaign will absolutely do better than any other type of campaign, right? That's why all these tools exist. Gamification works. If the people understand why you're giving them extra chances, that giving them more chances to win, then potentially they're going to be encouraged to win, to enter, to do the social sharing. Right? You with me? by the way, you are absolutely able to ask questions. I'm going to switch. You probably won't even notice. You didn't even see anything. I forgot to switch my camera so that I can display some slides. See, that's where it goes crazy, and you can see all of the, I don't know, maybe you can't see it on Facebook or whatever because of the low resolution that Facebook sends us out. Anyway. When Wilco, Carlene has a question. So giving an action 40 points or higher points is not a good idea. We're going to talk about that. I want to hold off on that for just a few minutes, if you don't mind. And if I don't answer it, remind me. All right. So one of the things we have to do is we have to talk about the psychology of all this, right? When Wilco first created UpViral, after running the campaign for Tweetleads, he realized the power of, so if you don't know, let me just tell you quickly. He had a software tool called Tweetleads that you could on Twitter invite somebody. The tool, when you posted a link, would ask for their email address, right, to opt in. It was kind of a very interesting tool. And what he did was that he offered that tool to anybody that would refer two people. So it was kind of like a wait list kind of a program where the tool was free, but you had to invite other people to gain the tool, access to the tool. So Wilco, from that campaign, realized, hey, there's Shamal. Hi, Shamal. Wilco realized the power of inviting referrals, right? And doing the ask for referrals. And then when UpViral was born, you had the side that was built based on that, right? To give an offer, an incentive of some kind for the referrals. And then there was also the side that was the contest side, because he saw all the other tools that were working really well for running contests. I'm sorry, I just heard something like a phone in my room, and I'm like, what is that? Some electronic gadget somewhere just made a noise. That's going to bother me. Maybe it's a phone outside somebody. I don't know. That's often why I wear headphones, so I don't hear those distractions. Anyway. When you have a contest, I'm going back to the aren't points enough. It's really nice to be able to incentivize people, and as Carlene's question, by giving them additional chances to win. So let's dive into that, right? See how the things distract me, and then I can't do stuff. What happens when you get old like me? All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Of course, we're gonna do that. So what I want to do is talk about the struggles, right? If I put this up, that gave, see, I have a Stream Deck that is going to display some slides, and I have the Stream Deck programmed, and that one didn't work. So anyway, here's the struggle. All right, so put on your hat that you don't know anything about UpViral, you don't know anything about any of this stuff, and you see a contest that has all of these share buttons below it, right? This what sounds like a ring is still happening. So you see all these share buttons, and unless somebody explains to you, and we've looked at several campaigns, if we've done the reviews, if you've seen the reviews, and you see some of the templates that UpViral has, it says, hey, welcome to the thing. Hey, you can get additional chances to win the contest if you refer people, and then there's some buttons. typically what I see is that people don't really, the campaign owner doesn't really explain what the benefit of the sharing is, right? There's a struggle there for most people. And if you're putting on your hat that you don't know anything about this, and you see these share buttons and you see some points, you go, okay, what's that going to do for me? A couple extra points to win, maybe, maybe not, right? So let me show you some statistics and stuff. And this is the struggle of reality, right? Nobody wants to share. It's extra time out of my life. It's extra things, potentially have to learn how to do something, but I don't natively want to share. If you think about the psychology of going viral, right, which is why UpViral is called UpViral. People see a YouTube video or funny video, a GIF or whatever, and they go, this is hilarious. This is insane. I got to share this with somebody. Right? But if you're talking about a contest to win an hour of Carlene's time, right? Sorry, Carlene, I'm picking on you from last week's show. Right? And Carlene, do me a favor and switch to sharing with everybody so everybody gets to see your comments. It's nobody's going to crawl through broken glass unless they understand the offer, right? We go back to the power of the offer and what is going on and why people want to do the sharing, right? Not only have we talked about it in regards to the prize, but it's also true just to get people to share, right? Nobody wants to share your offer. They just don't. As much as I love Wilco and the marketing team, it's just not a native function. We have to explain it to them. We have to tell them what the benefit is. Just like I told Carlene, right, last week's review show, you got to tell people why they want to win this thing. Goes back to, I always hold up my iPhone, right? I got a cute little cover, a little loopy case, and right, everybody knows the value of this and the benefits, and they're willing to win it. A lot of times you have to explain to them about your offer. Carlene's offer was an hour with her. Why? Why do I want that? So you got to explain that on the front page. On the sharing page, sometimes you got to explain to people why they want to share. Here's some of the reasons. I did a survey of people in my contests. These are my stats. I didn't make them up. I didn't steal them from anywhere. These are what people told me. I gave them 4 choices. 68% said, I don't want to spam my friends. 24% said, my friends don't care. 10% said it's not really going to help me win more, right? They don't understand that if you get one chance to win when you opt in and you get one chance to win when you share, they're like, okay, big deal. Going back to Carlene's question, what if I got 40 points to share? Do I understand that that's 40 more chances to win? And then there were 10% that says, I don't do social media anyway, so screw it, I don't care. Okay. Is this starting to sink in? This is the big problem, right? Nobody really wants to share your offer. This is a stat that I got from Referral Sasquatch, which is a tool, I guess. I haven't ever really dug into it. But they said of all the campaigns that they were testing, only 14% of the people that got to the share page did anything. 14%. I'm pausing because I want that number to sink into you. 14%. They're in the same business UpViral's in, getting people to share because of bonuses, benefits, reasons that they're going to get something else. I'm going to put that back up there because this is important. 14% take an action. This is where Mitch started learning long ago when I started all of these campaigns that got me to 250,000 leads. I started looking at the data, and I preach at you all about the data. If you don't look at the data, then you're not going to understand what's going on. If I share this, if I put up 14% of the people, so you get 1,000 people in your campaign, and only 140 of them do anything just because they realize the value of sharing, what about the other 86%? That's some quick math for you right there, baby. And I did it, I think, successfully. 86% of the people did nothing. And if you're not looking at your data, you're going to say, whatever tool I'm using, UpViral or whatever, if you only get 14% of the people to share, you're going to say the campaign didn't work. Right? Of course you are. Now look at mine. The left chart, not the right chart. The left chart says 30% of my people shared. That's very different than 14%, right? That's double the number of people shared. So that's one of the reasons why I'm here teaching you. I've been able to get double what the average was in that study, at least. I can get 30 people on average or 300 out of 1,000 to share. And that's an average over my 250,000, by the way. Some campaigns suck. Some campaigns will really work. This is where you've got to do multiple campaigns over time. Right? Part of it, by the way, and I'm going to keep picking on Carlene since she asked this question. Brave enough, again, bravo, Carlene, for being brave enough to ask a question. Is 40 points enough? I don't know. People ask me that. They want me to tell them what the right number is to put on their sharing points. I don't know. You got to run multiple campaigns and test it for your audience and see what works. When I first started, I was taking some of the examples that I had seen, and I was offering 1 point for people to, one chance to win when they opted in. And I was putting 5 points on all the social sharing. Custom actions didn't even exist back then. And on the referrals, the points that really matter with people referring, I was putting 5 or 10. Now that's still 10 times what I was offering people to opt in. But those numbers eventually felt like they weren't big enough. People weren't doing enough of the sharing that I wanted them to do. So I started increasing those numbers. Your mileage may vary, right? But if you offer somebody, let's say, 1 chance to win when they opt in, and you give them 50 chances to win when they refer somebody, don't you feel like that's a little bit more incentive to go invite somebody to the campaign, right? The struggle in a contest still is Betty Lou wants to be, if she opts into your campaign, she wants to be the only one there. She doesn't want to invite her friends. She's got to be shown, walked through the direction. She's got to be taught that sharing is more valuable to her than to keeping everything to herself. It's a big, big lesson. All right. Here's another stat for you. 83% of consumers are willing to refer others after a positive experience, but only 29% do. Now, this is talking purely about referrals, right? If you ask them to refer somebody else, maybe a week or 2 weeks later after your product, they have it in their hot little hands. But the concept is still true. 86% of the people think about sharing, but only 26% of the people do once they thought about it. You got to put some numbers up here. You got to start bringing in bigger numbers in order for any of this to work, including your business. You got to have more people coming in to make more sales. If this process brings you just 10% more people, ring the bell, hallelujah. You're serving more people. You're going to make more sales. You're going to have more impact on the world. If you get 30% of the people to share, now you're having more impact. But you got to think about it. It's like your open rates, right? In your emails, we all talk about open rates a lot. Well, what's your open rate? 10%. Well, if you can double that, then you theoretically are going to double your sales, right? You're going to have more impact on the world the more you get people to think about what you're doing. You nurture them, all the things we've talked about before. Right? Anybody got any questions so far? Taking too much time? Am I too slow? I got a kick out of Tiff Nicole in my mastermind. She is constantly coming in and saying, Mitch, I got one simple question. And then it takes us an hour to talk about it. These are the kind of things that some people, and I have seen this done, some people will explain this stuff to you in 2 minutes and expect you to get it. But if you don't understand the psychology behind it, if you don't understand the numbers and start looking at the numbers, then it's worthless. Carlene, great question. Send that question into the UpViral team. Please. All right, Carlene's question, can you have an incentive show up after X number of days? I've been begging for that. Oh, I've been begging for that. That did come up in my mastermind, by the way, and I did come up with a way of sort of teasing that, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. Ask me about that later. So people don't want to share. Now, there's one other topic you got to think about. Wilco talks about this in his training as well. If the offer is embarrassing, people aren't going to share it. If you're in the adult toy business, if you have if your business is about cancer, if your business is about health needs, if your business is about weight, right? People don't necessarily want to share that. You have to be very careful with what your offer is. You have to think very hard about what people were willing to share. I may be really thrilled for you to have a program that helps me lose 50 pounds, but maybe I don't want to be telling the world, right? I mean, I'm only showing you from here up. I don't want to show you the stuff down here. But maybe I don't want to share that with the world. So you have to think about that side of it as well. And going back to Carlene's example last week, maybe they don't understand why they would want to share it, right? Number one response, I'm going to go back to this, I'm going to put it up. 68% of the people don't want to spam their friends. They're very conscious about what they put in front of people. They're not willing to just throw up an offer just for a few extra points. They got to really break past that psychological barrier of, I don't want to spam my friends, right? Maybe if you're running a contest for a smartphone, people go, oh, hell yeah, I want to win that. Thanks, Paula, for sharing that. But Carlene's offer, an hour with her in terms of chatbots from last week, I don't have an incentive to share that unless I happen to know one person, two people that would benefit, right? I know Shamal, for example, does bots, right? Maybe I should talk to him about it. All of this psychology goes into your offer and what you should be thinking about. I just realized what Shamal said. Shamal was answering Carlene's question about the incentive showing up after 2 days. He said, maybe it's possible with custom coding. Maybe. But again, that's an advanced topic. But if you send in the suggestion to the UpViral team and say, I really want to have this feature, which I think would be awesome to have, maybe if more people ask for it, they'll be more likely to do it. Can we manually insert an incentive after the campaign has started? Absolutely. Nico, what incentive do you suggest for a business selling courses online? I'm going to hold on to that question too, if you don't mind. It's sometimes impossible to come up with the perfect incentive, just like it's difficult to come up with the perfect prize. But I'm going to show you something in a few minutes that hopefully will answer that question. All right, so this and this is where the question let me get back to that in a minute. So this is where the question about points comes in. If you think about points may not be enough incentive to actually gain people's trust to be able to overcome all of these topics. Okay. I also want to go in, just so everybody has some familiarity. I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you just so we're all on the same page. I think I'm sharing. You guys see my desktop? All right. So if you go into your UpViral campaign, what I'm really talking about is this point number 2, which is currently called rewards. Right? It's rather fun. We talk about wording all the time, and I hassle Danny and the team about wording. So we talk about rewards here. This is number 2 is rewards, but then we use the word incentive all the time. Edit incentive, 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 grand prizes. Prizes are rewards typically. So coming up with the right word is a challenge. And I don't blame them for struggling with this. But people ask me all the time, why is this the very first thing in the UpViral list of things to do for a campaign? And they get confused because the first thing they want to do is go over and design their pages. And yet that doesn't show up till option number 5. So people can get a little confused even just by the tool when they first come in, when they're first learning. But what I want you to do, and I've told you this a bazillion times if you've watched here before, the idea is that you need to have a plan. Yes, you can come in and you theoretically can create an UpViral campaign in 30 minutes, but you better have a plan for what your offer is going to be. You got to think about what your offer is going to be. Now, what I encourage you and all of my clients every time I meet with a client, let me see what Steven asks. If the share people aren't interested in your offer, then it's spam by definition, isn't it? Technically, yes, which is why you have to think about this particular offer, right? Shouldn't the share page mention the share people should be interested? This is so what he's asking about is you take people through the opt-in, you get them on the sharing page. what do you tell them? What do you suggest to them why they should do the sharing? And it kind of depends upon what your offer is in my book, Stephen. This is a great question. But again, if I hold up my iPhone, you guys know what this is. Getting people to share for additional points probably isn't as hard as suggesting that they share. I mean, who doesn't want a smartphone in this world, right? The general population, you can share. I could share that on my Facebook timeline, and I would think that many people would say that's not spam because, hey, I need a smartphone. But if I were sharing Carlene's offer about chatbots, am I going to just slam up a Facebook post about, hey, Carlene over here's got a great offer about chatbots? I'm possibly more likely to share that in Messenger. Saying, hey, Shamal, I know you're interested in chatbots. Look at this offer. Hey, Paula, I know you're interested in doing chatbots in your business. Look at this offer. You and I could both win, maybe, or whatever. So, yes, absolutely, you have to think about all these things, Stephen, about whether or not the people are going to be interested in receiving the message. The receivers of the share, you got to consider that. Absolutely, positively, especially when I posted the thing about, is it embarrassing? It might be an embarrassing offer. All right, you with me? How do we get around that? This is where I started to go before I answered Stephen's question. What I tell clients, what I tell anybody who thinks about this is the very first thing that you should do when you create a campaign. I've mentioned it here on the Copilot Show multiple times, including one of the very early shows where we talked about this very same topic. What you need to do, this is my recommendation. Take off your I know everything about my business hat. Carlene, Stephen, Nikki, Nico, take off your hat where you know everything about your business. Okay, let me rephrase that. Put on your hat that you know everything about your business. Maybe I said that wrong. So think about your business. What I really want you to do is put away the distractions. I said it wrong. Put away your distractions. Take an hour. If you can isolate an hour, that is the best thing you could possibly do for your business. And make a list. I want you to sit down and make a list. The first list, and I'm going to show you some ideas here in a second, so hold on. The first list I want you to think about is, what do you have right now in your business that you could give away for free? Think about every asset you've got. Maybe you got a PDF, maybe you got an ebook, possibly those are the same thing. Maybe you got a training course, you did a 20-minute session one day and you recorded it. Think about all those things. And I'm going to, again, put up a list. I don't want to get you distracted right now. Make this list. It will change your business forever if you do this. Make the time to do it. I can't emphasize that enough. Do not think about A, the cost of it, or B, how you're going to deliver it. Just brainstorm what. What could I give away? First list is things I already have. Second list is things that I could build in 30 minutes to an hour and a half, 2 hours. All right? Okay? Just brainstorm. Don't think about how. Don't think about any of the what stuff or the physical stuff, the cost stuff. Just brainstorm ideas. And if you have it, mark it down to something I have. If you don't have it, mark it down to something I could create. If you think it's going to take 2 days or a week, maybe make a note about how long it would take. This list, I have a list on my computer right now of assets. I call it my asset list. Everything that I have in my business that I could sell or give away as an offer. Because what's going to happen, the reason we're doing this is that the next time you create a campaign, you're going to have this list. One of the biggest struggles is, okay, I'm on the incentives tab, the rewards tab. It's the first thing that comes up. But what am I going to do here? What am I going to offer? And then people stop. They go, oh, I'm so tired of this. I don't have time to think about this today. And they walk away without doing it. And then they never run their campaign. If you have a list, you could go, all right, I'm going to run a contest and I'm going to invite people to refer others. What have I got? And you pull up your list, paper lists, electronic lists, doesn't matter. And you just scan down the list and you go, bam, I bet my people would want that. All right, you with me? This is incredibly important. When you're making a list of things you could give away, here's all the different things that you could possibly, and I shouldn't say all, this is a short list. There are plenty of other things you possibly could give away. Courses, subscriptions, shopping spree, membership, subscription to different levels of your service if you already have different levels in your business. For example, you could give away products that are complementary to your service. Going back to Carlene, she was going to give away an hour of her time for her chatbot. But what we talked about was maybe you could give away as a main prize. And here we're not talking yet about incentives, or we are talking about incentives, but in this example, maybe you give away a year of ManyChat. Right? It's going to cost you something, but don't think about the cost right now while you're listing these things. Just freaking brainstorm what you could offer. My example here was Xero. Some of you may not know, it's an accounting, bookkeeping, yoga mat for yoga classes, anything that would apply to your business that would attract your perfect avatar. Do not think of an Amazon gift card. Wrong answer. Gift certificates. I said gift certificates, but those are for your business or something somebody else offers that applies to your business. It has to be things that will attract your perfect people. Create a bundle of products, things you could acquire easily, affiliate products, courses, products related to your niche. If you have to buy something, just ship it. Don't ship it to your house. So many people say, well, then I have to buy it and store it in my house. And no, just use a tool like Amazon and ship it somewhere. Seasonality. Think about offers that have to do with the seasons. Make checklists, things that you maybe don't have, but this is just an extension of the first list. Mini courses, templates, samples of your topics, spreadsheets, top 10 lists, cheat sheets, tutorials, conferences, email scripts. I'm doing that right now, as a matter of fact. Email scripts, swap files, samples of your topics, templates. I'm doing all those things. Okay, is it starting to sink in? If you make an hour to sit down and make this list, and when I make the list, when I first did it, by the way, I thought of half a dozen things that I'd created in the past that would be something people would be interested in. Go through your YouTube channel if you have one, or TikTok or whatever, and go, oh, look, I had this video from a year ago. This still applies. I could give that away as a freebie to get somebody to refer somebody else. Okay, now let's go back to Nico's question. What incentive do I suggest for building a business? For a business selling courses. Nico, I just gave you an entire list of 50 different things that you could give away as an incentive for your course. I don't know what your business course is about. Or I don't know exactly what your business, you say business selling courses online. What's the topic? You want some ideas, by the way, go do some Google searches. Go spend some time looking for things that are related in your industry that would appeal to your perfect people. Do not give away an Amazon gift card. Do not incentivize people with money. That's the wrong incentive. It has to apply to your business. There are some cases where giving away money works. Not very often. And yes, it's money, right? If you have a YouTube video or a mini course or a spreadsheet or a calculator or any of these things that cost you nothing to deliver, those are the kind of things you want. Don't be giving away money. Can an incentive be a 20% discount in your store? Hell yes. I can't tell you how many clients, it just slays me. Clients come to me and they say, oh, I don't want to give away a gift certificate if somebody refers 2 people. That costs me 20%. How's that for an accent? Right? Dudette. If people use your coupon, they have just bought something in your freaking store. Didn't you want new customers? Hello? Why is it so hard for people to conceive that any kind of a discount to get people to buy something is a bad thing? I have never understood that, yet clients come to me all the time and say, I'm like, oh, come on, people. Are you making any money in your business? Why is this so hard for you to understand? I don't get it. Is it the best incentive? No. What's the number one thing I'm going to recommend that you do? People that have been here before, what am I going to tell you to do in terms of figuring out what the right incentive is? It's one word. It's got 4 letters if you're into Wordle or any of those crosswords or whatever. 4 letters, 1 word. Starts with the letter T. Anybody? Come on, somebody. No, good try, Carlene. Time, she said. No, it's kind of related. Anybody else want to guess? 4 letters, starts with the letter T. I say it a million times a week. How do you figure out what the right offer is? Oh, good try, Carlene. Nico got it. Test. I don't know the right answer. Nico says, well, what should I offer? I don't know. The very simple example I've given before. My friend Bradley lets me use this. Survival niche, people that think the world's going to end. They did a contest. They gave away a camping tent. They gave away camping chairs. They gave away camping stoves. They gave away every accessory known to man. Price ranging from $500 down to virtually nothing. They tested and tested and tested different contests. They eventually figured out that a $97 flashlight brought them the most leads of people that were interested in surviving the apocalypse. Everybody needs a flashlight, right? That's trying to survive an apocalypse. They tested. They did testing over and over and over again. They didn't just run one campaign and go, that didn't work, and go don some other shiny object. Stephen's question, which I just sort of indirectly answered. Stephen's question was, seems like the number of leads generated is proportional to the actual dollar value of the offer. Hi, Steve from Thailand. Yes, people are starting to pop in now going, oh, why is Mitch almost done with his thing? Yeah, sorry about that. I wonder if that email actually just popped in. We gotta address that. Yes, it did. 15 minutes ago. Oh man. We gotta talk about that with the UpViral team. They didn't recognize the time change, and I didn't think about it ahead of time either. Sorry. But Steve's question, Steven says, seems like the number of leads is proportional to the actual dollar value of the offer. No, it's not. Absolutely not always. Sometimes it is, but it's not always. I'm going to go back to the example I just gave you, Stephen, of the survival niche that Bradley talks about. It is not about the dollar value. It's about the appeal. Bradley's quote that I use all the time, and he has multiple times given me permission to say it. People need to find an offer that their perfect people will crawl through broken glass to get. And the visual there gives it, you absolutely understand that what we're looking for here is an offer that is going to change their world, that they are so excited to get, even for incentives, not necessarily even just for prizes in a contest, but for incentives. If you don't give them the right offer, they're not going to share. They don't have the right reason. All the things we've talked about up till now, if you don't give them the right reason, they're not going to do it. And that's critical to your process. You've got to get them to be able to crawl through broken glass to get your incentive. Okay. Anybody have any questions? I know this is going to be an awkward time. Because everybody's going to be popping in now to go, oh, well, the show's starting, right? And I'm sorry that the show's ended. I apologize immensely. And no, I'm not going to go through it again. You guys can just go watch the replay. Carlene's question, what is the best way to have people find and go back to the share page? Great freaking question. There's a very simple answer to that. And are you talking about, Carlene, via email or some other way? Let me ask you that question. Via email or some other way to get people back to the share page? Email messenger. Okay. Is that two things, email and a messenger? Messenger being Facebook Messenger? I have to be 50. If you're talking about email, two things. All right. If you're talking about email, and I haven't really talked about this enough to Danny, the product manager. Email is simple. Let me give you a quick Zoom share here. There's the email for today, just finally showing up 15 minutes ago. UpViral. If you're in your campaign, one of the least often used tools, if I click on the Publish tab, is this one-click sign up over here on the far right. What people don't understand is the value of this. If you say whatever email tool you're using, say ActiveCampaign is mine, join campaign. Now, the idea of this initially from the UpViral team was a way to get people to opt into your campaign. But you can use it to get people back to the campaign, because guess what? This link takes them directly to their own sharing page. Because what you're going to do is you're going to replace with your email system, your whatever tool you're using, it's going to substitute for everybody you send the email to their own email address. And technically, you don't need to use the UV name because they're not really registering. They're just coming back to their share page. Okay. That's the first way. Now, when you set up your campaign, if you're using UpViral hosted landing pages and not the widget, and you go to the advanced settings, primarily you want the general setup. You want to auto redirect non-subscribe. I mean, you probably want this one turned on by default, and you probably want this one turned on, because what this is going to do is if they hit if you give them, and this is sort of for the messenger question, if you give them the main URL to the campaign again, and you have this turned on, and they're on the same device where they initially registered because it's cookie based, then they will go to the share page even though they're going to the main link. Okay. I do understand that if you give people the main page back, and I'm going to go to the design, often what happens, if you look at my template for my page template, for example, here, often what they will do, if they actually land on this page again, if the cookies aren't set, whatever, they look at the opt-in and they're like, oh, I don't want to register again. I don't want to go do that again. I don't remember what email address or whatever. Sometimes what I do is I actually put a link down here, and I'll do it really fast for you. Let's do a button. I'm going to drag it over here, and I'm going to make that button actually be open pop-up. No, I don't want open URL. No, I don't want. I want. Sorry, I want to do open pop-up. And in this particular case, what I simply do is I change the background color to be the background color of my background. And my background color is slightly different, but you get the idea, I think. And what I do is I change this to say log in or log in again. And what that gets people to do is go, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I ended up here. I've already registered. Let me log in. And they understand that process. So that's a little trick I have that potentially gets people that have already registered to not panic when they see the opt-in page again. And I would do that for the messenger answer, Carlene. I would just give them the main URL, send them, if the cookies are set, it will take them to the share page like I just showed you, and then everything works fine from there. All right. Any other questions? And I do see people popping in. I apologize for those of you just popping in going, hey, the show's about to start. And in reality, I started an hour ago because in the United States, we switched time to daylight time. And I didn't think about that. And Wilco and team didn't think about that. So we got timing messed up. And anyway, sorry. So Carlene's question, so they click the link and they go to the share page. Yes. If the cookies are set and you have that redirect already registered people turned on, it will take them to the share page. Or in email, if you use the one-click sign up, it will take them to the share page too. Those are the two primary ways to get people to share page without ugly stuff. All right, Stephen Hoglin's question. I think a $97 flashlight supports a cost model. Would a $20 flashlight work as well? A $300 flashlight might generate more leads. Possibly. Stephen, what's my answer to your question? Everybody say it in unison. That's right. Carlene got it. Test it. Find out. You don't know. I don't know. And what works in your business may not work in somebody else's business. All right. Test it. I don't know the optimum answer. Even if I made a guess, it would possibly be wrong. Does value matter to people? Yes, it does. I will tell you, Stephen, that in asking people, I don't have this in front of me, in asking people whether they preferred a contest where there was one big prize of, say, $500, or a contest that had 3 to 5 prizes with $100 each, the vast majority of people said they would rather have the additional prizes because they felt like they had more chances to win versus the value of the big prize. How did I find that out? I did surveys. I talked to them. I asked the question. Okay. Again, testing, talking to your people. Even the list that I gave you before, you come up with your list, test it, but you can always talk to your people, right? Get on Messenger, get on Zoom, get on email, send out surveys, find out what they really think are the best prizes. Ask your perfect people. Don't ask your husband, wife, significant other, your neighbors. Talk to your perfect people. They're the ones that are going to be fighting for those prizes. And by the way, earlier, where'd it go? Nico, in response, said, thanks for that list, Mitch. It answered my question. That was the goal, to give you the value, to help you figure out what the right offer is for your particular audience. Antonio's question, how can I reset the campaign and have people register again, even if they did previously? Let's say I want to run a monthly contest, but don't want to redo the campaign again, just start it over. The reason I struggle with this question is because this has been asked and talked to with Wilco and Mark at the team multiple times, because it's a very common question, an evergreen kind of campaign. It depends. It's my typical answer on what you want to do. You said you want to run a monthly contest, but I don't want to redo the campaign again, just start it over. There are no ways of removing all the people. Well, you can sit there and manually delete people. There's no way of resetting the points and keeping people in. One of my clients right now, what we're doing is we are running a year-long contest, and we are giving people that enter the contest the ability to stay in throughout the whole year. We are drawing prizes every month, but that gives the people a chance to win more stuff throughout the year. And it feels to me like they like that. There is no perfect answer here. What I would possibly do is simply clone the campaign. Everything you got is set up, just clone the campaign and have people come back in and register again. There's this weight in my mind of, well, okay, you're going to run a monthly contest. Why do I have to register every month? Some people are going to like that. Some people aren't. Some people are going to be okay with it. Some people aren't. And I don't know the optimum answer here. But you can have them register again. I'm thinking about other things. But but there should be an optimal answer from UpViral. Eventually, we've talked about doing evergreen kinds of campaigns and having them set up a function that says, hey, I want to just reset this, or I want to reset the points. I want to, there's a couple of different answers there, but it isn't there now. So it just depends about what you want to do. Typically, what I suggest is just leave the campaign open, let people have the chance that registered in February to have the chance to win in March, and just let it keep going until you're done. Is that the perfect answer for you? I don't know. Stephen Hogland's question, cookies, not a question. Cookies are going away on devices for more privacy. Very true. I think the login button makes good sense. It's not hard to do. You can make it bigger and smaller. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. You can make it virtually invisible and just have it be a text link kind of thing looking. Why not do that? And it doesn't cost you anything, and it does. I don't believe that it hurts your campaign in any way. Thanks. I understand the pros and cons from Antonio. Anybody else have any other questions? We are 13 minutes after the hour. I'm going to shut this down if I don't get any more questions. You're welcome. Is it possible to segment? Carlene asks. Tell me more, Carlene. You keep asking great questions, but I don't know what you mean. You can segment your autoresponder all day long. Bye, Jeff. Thanks for being here. Carlene's like, give me a few seconds to write what I need to say. You got time. Anybody else have any questions? Start typing them so that we can get to them and I don't have to have this awkward pause. Because as soon as I see there aren't any more questions, we are done. We are wrapping it up. Thanks for being here. Uh-oh. My microphone just switched for some reason. Segment those who registered from those who just referred a few from those who are referees. Uh-oh. Segment those who registered from those who just referred a few from those who are referees. Okay. All right. Segment those who, all right, here's the answer. This is going to be a tough answer. Cancel. Let me cancel. You guys can't see that yet. Sharing my desktop. Exit. I don't want to save that button. Here's something that very few people really know to do, Carlene, and I'm unfortunately showing some, I can't cover that up. Showing some names, right? Some emails. That's not important. This is kind of a test campaign right now. But one of the things that you can do, they have moved it. The reason I paused is because the export button used to be right here in the middle. I'm like, where'd they move it? It's over here. Export. Leads export. Only due to the file size, it may take up to 15 minutes. No. All right. Dang. I'm done. Anyway. There's a reason I did that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the screen share. You guys won't be able to see me or see me change the screen. I want to see if this opens up right away. I want to show you absolutely everything on my desktop. And it's not freaking here. Oh, I got to get an email first. See, they've changed this process. Don't always like the changes to the world, do we? Well, I don't like changes. So if I go here, they've changed the process on me and I don't see it yet. Here it is. All right, so what I'm doing in the background is I am downloading that file. And here it is, and I'm going to open it in Numbers. And you're going to see why I'm going through all this pain in just a second. Once I can get Excel/Numbers. All right. So you guys can see the spreadsheet, right? Let me make it bigger. So Carlene's question was to segment people, those who registered from those who referred, from those who are referees. This column right here that says lead type will either say direct or referral. And the only place to really see this in any kind of bulk thing is here in the spreadsheet. Now, you could actually see it in the UpViral campaign. If I were to click on me, for example, if I were referred, it would say up here at the top, it would say referred by Betty Lou. Okay. But you can't really do anything with that data here. But you could, if you export the list, you could take this list and import it to your autoresponder. They will let you do that. And what it will do will be update the people. And you would assign this column lead type to one of your tags or one of your extra fields. So therefore, you could see if somebody were a direct lead or a referral. Okay, so that's one way of making that happen for seeing who referred versus direct. The other question about who referred, the only way to do that is based on points. And that's where the point system gets rather mucky. And I don't care for it. That's a whole nother topic. Oops, I didn't want to do that yet. If we go over to back to UpViral, to this campaign setup, and we go to, this is a lot of data, and I apologize for those of you who may not want to know this. Wrong thing. Go to number 7, the autoresponder setup. If you have incentives, you will see those incentives with a tag over here. I'm sorry, tags, the incentives down here. People who earn an incentive will be tagged, and those can go over to your autoresponder. It does not, at this point, tell you still who referred, but I want to show you this because these are the events. And if I basically come over here to communication, these are the events that UpViral will update your autoresponder. Send an email after registration. Send an email on referral sign up. Basically, if somebody signs up, I have to back up a second. Sorry. Rewind. UpViral doesn't do anything with this other than to send an email to somebody. It doesn't send any data over to your autoresponder. But it will send them, it will update your autoresponder with those tags for incentives or rewards. I might have mucked that up a little bit in your head, but those are the events where UpViral updates your autoresponder with data. It does not do it every time somebody earns points. It does not do it every time somebody does a referral, unless you manually manage to set the incentives up for that, which is a whole nother topic. And that's pretty much it. So there's no segmenting that happens inside of UpViral. That's all over in your autoresponder. And those are how to get those details over to your autoresponder. It's one of those questions that sounds simple, but takes a little bit of explanation. Okay, last chance for questions. Stephen Hoglin's question: testing is great, but expensive prizes, that adds a lot of cost to a small business. Will some kind of survey work instead? Absolutely, you can send a survey out to your people and see what they would be most interested to win. Absolutely, you can do that. I was just checking Facebook for questions. I see none. All right, you can definitely do that. Carlene has one more question. Where do I find the widget that I would put on a web page if I want to host the giveaway on my website? If you go to publish, like I'm doing here, and you come down to this section, you can embed a campaign on your web page. So you can have both an UpViral hosted campaign and a widget on your page. I am not going to go through that. There's an entire show on that topic that I did 3 or 4 weeks ago. It can be complicated. Did an entire show on that recently. So go watch that. It is a great feature. It is potentially complicated, and you can have some issues, especially if you go in and do these things. I had a lesson learned about the advanced settings, which is why these general setup, this auto redirect non-subscribers and redirect participants, you would potentially set differently if you are putting a widget on a second page. So you need to learn a little about these as well, and it may mess up. So it's a complicated conversation. Any other questions? Quickly, I'm about to wrap this up. Thank you very much for being here. I know we had a lot of issues about people with the time zone. I apologize about that. We will make a note to make sure that we do that better next year. And maybe we need to pay attention to when daylight savings happens around the world. All right, I am seeing nobody saying, hey, I got a question. So let's wrap this up. Next week is question day, Q&A day. Next Tuesday is Q&A day on the Copilot show. So tune in if you have some major fun questions. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for patience on the time zone swap, daylight savings time swap. And thank you for being an UpViral user or potential user. Please make sure to tune in next week if you have questions. You're welcome, Francisco. And everyone else, you are welcome. Thanks for being here, and we will catch you next week.